address, and, you know, if we get a name and address, if somebody, I would assume that the town would have a responsibility at that point to go and check up on it. So I have some issues with that particular line of question, and I don't think that is gonna get a lot of response just because that particular question is in there.
Unless you don't like your neighbor.
Well, but that's
Even
the
if
other
the
problem
system
too,
is
is that it could be used in the wrong manner, is the fact that, you know, I don't like my neighbor, so
Right.
I'll throw his name out there and address and, you know, so I strongly, like I say, I still recommend people do not respond to it.
Anything, Thomas? Mr. Young?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you want me to respond to that, it's fine.
I think it'll be appropriate.
When I came back from vacation, and I got a couple of calls regarding this, and this was unknown to my knowledge, so I brought in Weston and Sampson the next day regarding this. The survey was part of the April town meeting approval of the year 2000, the $400,000. The survey is required by DEP to go out as part of the whole wastewater study. What the survey is to indicate is what areas of town may have wastewater problems. You cannot, according to DEP, just say, okay, Martin's Pond has the problem, and not look at the other areas of the town. You have to look at it as a town-wide basis. This is why the survey went out. The questions by Weston Sampson were developed by them and utilized in at least 5 other communities who they did survey work for: East Bridgewater, Rentham, Falmouth, Holliston, and Chelmsford over the past few years. If I was involved, and I have made it very clear to the Public Works Department that I need to be involved in this process from this point forward, I may have looked at the questions a little differently. I may have had them change a few of them. But please be aware that it is important to have the survey responded to. We will not individually see each of the surveys. The surveys go to a group who will just tabulate the results and send us the results. So if, let's say, Selectman Dino sends a survey, and of course it does not give you your address or name of the respondent on the survey. So you will not see Mr. Dino's, I don't think it has the respondent's name or address on there. It's optional.
It is optional, but it asks for it, street and number,
Right.
which, you know, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who lives at a certain street and number.
But we will not see the actual survey. We'll see the total results, but not the individual surveys. I felt it was important enough to have the transcript have the town put an explanation in that transcript stating any concerns that the townspeople may have. Obviously, it was an error to note that there was a committee. There is no committee. The Board of Selectmen will appoint the committee if one is to be held for this project. Also, the survey, there was an article in the transcript the week before regarding the survey. Unfortunately, it was placed, no fault of anyone, here on the last page of the transcript, on the back page. So, the week before, so if you didn't go to the back page, you didn't see it. But I have informed the Department of Public Works that I need to be involved in this, and we'll be going.
I would assume that your department had meetings before anybody else was planning a survey to run it by you.
We would, in fact, we've already had a department unrelated to this, unbeknownst of the issue, said that they were doing a small survey, but I want to give it to you and the board before we send it out. So,
And again, just in fairness to, again, I know the town has to go about their business, but in fairness to the members of the board who generally get the phone calls, you know, it would be nice if we knew in advance what was coming. It's always nice to know it's on its way. Mr. Murphy?
If I could, through the chair to Tom, there's 2 consultants involved here. One is an engineering firm and the other that mailed the survey. So I'm surmising it's much like, and we've done this at my work, you get someone who does the survey and tabulates the results. And you can't even get your, as by contract, you can't even get your hands on the individual survey. All you can have is the output, the data that you were looking to get. So not necessarily going to get street numbers and all those kinds of things. You'll never be able to discern from the results. If they've bifurcated the process, you'll never discern from the results who filled out what. Because you'll just get total results.
All due respect, I don't trust these surveys when they ask for a name and address. And I've heard this before, just fill this thing out and everything will be fine. And then it's used in some purpose against you. And I just do not think it's appropriate. I don't like it. I don't think there was enough background, so.
Mr. Muldoon, have you filled out your survey?
Well, I'm not gonna, using a football term, I'm not gonna pile on because this is the first night of Monday Night Football, but it is unfortunate that it was handled this way, but I'm also convinced, I received calls also, as, even though I wasn't here, good thing for a tape machine, but
My machine said to call you.
Thank you.
Call Mr. Muldoon.
I do want to reiterate, though, that this is an important step in a process to bring sewer to the business district and to Martin's Pond. So it's really important that we pursue down the road to get this done. And this is whatever does occur in the future, that is the end result. And I hope that everyone will try to achieve that goal in the end, because it's very important and vital to this community as far as bringing in revenue and also helping the people in Martin's Pond with Title V problems.
Yeah, again, I'll be filling out the survey, but I'll be selective about my answers, obviously, in some instances. But, you know, I don't know that we'll be looking for Department of Public Works through the $400,000 appropriation to go through the process again. So again, I would encourage people to fill it out. If you're not comfortable with answering the question, don't answer it. But fill out as much as you can and get the process moving forward. Mr. Vino?
Yeah, not to belabor the discussion, but
You brought it up.
yeah, since I did. And it really has nothing to do with the survey's contents or anything. But the more people I talk to, the more people I find out did not receive this also. And I just don't know how they mailed this out. I mean, did they give them a couple thousand?
It says postal
Right.
patron on the front.
Right.
There's not even a
Yeah.
resident.
But I mean,
in
like,
that.
you didn't get one, and
No.
and I know a person in this town hall didn't get one because they asked to see mine, and it's kind of interesting. And again, that's not to belabor the discussion. but none of
Mr.
them
Young
could
has a comment, I guess.
We have the answer for all these questions. They did not use a mailing list. What they did was that they just dropped them off at the post office for delivery.
So your mailman doesn't like you, Mr. Murphy.
Well, he does like
you.
Reno.
Maybe they filled it out for you.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe your neighbor did.
Maybe they took it, yeah.
I think in view of all this, I don't see how the survey could be very accurate. Half the people aren't, well, I shouldn't say half,
Yeah.
how many aren't getting them, or how many
I don't know how
are.
many you had it.
And I'm sure that a lot of people feel like myself that aren't going to fill it out totally or whatever, so I don't know how, when all's said and done, I don't know how the results can be used to much benefit.
Mr. Young?
There is an expected percentage of what they would expect for a return response rate, and they would be expecting between 20 to 30% response rate.
But the question is, 20 to 30% of the ones that they thought they sent out, or 20 to 30% of the ones that actually got sent out?
They have the number, and I can't recall what the number was of what they actually sent out, but from 20 to 30% of what they
So
actually
if
dropped
you know,
off.
4,000 households are going to be
Yeah.
expecting 800.
What's that?
Oh, 1,000.
Sorry.
No.
Well, my neighbors got it, so they didn't miss the whole street.
They missed the whole street. All right, and again, if it's so you're expecting a certain percentage return, if they don't get it, what happens? You know,
If, my assumption is at this point is that if the response rate is in the single digits, if the project goes, further, I mean, it might be up to DEP to whether the survey would be considered acceptable or not. If you're putting out, 4,000 surveys and you receive, 40 back, I think it would be up to DEP to consider whether a survey is acceptable or not.
But I think my question is, we sent 4,000 to the post office. We don't know how many of those, and apparently there seems to be a number that never got sent out from the post office.
Maybe they weren't enough.
Well, I mean, we don't know. In fact, I think you said your whole street didn't get any?
Those neighbors
No, no, I said, they didn't miss my whole street.
Oh,
My
okay.
neighbors got them.
Okay. I think several points have been made. Again, at this point, I would still urge people to fill it out, get them in. If you're concerned about any portion of it, leave it blank. But at least respond as best you can and get it in so that we can keep the process moving forward. And if it doesn't meet the minimum criteria, we'll be told later on. So, anything else, Mr. Vino?
No, I think that's enough for us this year.
Very good. I just have a formatted survey I can knock off. There you go. First of all, I'd just like to give members of the board and the community an update on former board member, former chairman Ernie Doucette. Is still hospitalized at Lady Clinic, making a slow recovery, but we hope which will turn out to be a full recovery. He has had quadruple bypass procedures, he's had carotid arteries procedures, and he's had gallbladder surgery. We hope for a more speedy and comfortable recovery than he's enjoying right now. We just would encourage him to keep up the fight, and we're thinking of him, and he's in our prayers, and hope that everything comes along rather quickly for him. Additionally, I would like to mention, I think we all got a copy of the Martins Pond community. It's addressed to the Community and Planning Commission in relation to the proposed Pine Forest Park development of Flash Road, which is in Andover. I know the Planning Commission has been weighing in heavily as far as their concerns, along with members of the Martins Pond area in relation to that development. And I think the board should again continue to express our concern in relation to the impact that the proposed subdivision is going to have on North Reading, or as most of the traffic all the time will be coming through North Reading. If you've read the contents of the concerns listed here in relation to the proposed construction and what it's going to take to do that, the impact on the infrastructure in the Martins Pond area is going to be significant as far as the amount of fill coming in. And I think those types of considerations should be voiced, those concerns voiced rather loudly on behalf of the community to the Andover Planning Commission and Conservation Commission and all the appropriate boards up there that are considering the proposal. There's no doubt that the individuals have a right to do something with their land up there. But where it's going to have such a significant impact on that Martins Pond area and the infrastructure, roads in our area, I would hope that they wouldn't do it in a vacuum and devoid of our concerns. I just think it's important for the board to go on record echoing the concerns as expressed by the Planning Commission and the residents up in that area. We want to send a piece of correspondence. One of us go up again. That's fine. Just want to let the residents up there know that the board is cognizant as to what's going on. We have faith in the Planning Commission and our local inspectional services people as far as safeguarding our interests. To just encourage them to continue to express those concerns. Additionally, just to let the members know, we met the chairman of the school committee, chairman of the finance committee, town administrator, school superintendent. We've been meeting about monthly at this point, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, just to discuss where the different boards are at in relation to what we're thinking about our budgets, what we're thinking about for October town meeting articles for consideration, elementary and secondary school needs, just overall general discussions to keep everybody, each board informed as to where everybody else is at. School committee is meeting this evening. They will be discussing proposed articles